Good morning, scholars, and welcome to day 3 of week 6. We're still working on TEAC 7.12a, so we're still working on data sets. Up to now, y'all have done fantastic work. I'm super proud of each and every one of you. Y'all are literally putting in the time it takes to solve each problem. Y'all are doing phenomenal. I'm really proud of y'all. Alright guys, so for today, we're just going to move into a little bit more of the data sets and cover something now called spreads. Some of the previous questions covered it. I noticed that a big percentage of y'all were missing certain questions only because you're getting caught up on the vernacular, so the vocabulary. Don't let it confuse you. Remember that spread only means range. Like, that's it. It's just maximum minus minimum. That's it. So if you know what the question's asking, the answer choices become super easy, right? So don't overcomplicate it. All right. So the question number 4 states that Mr. Johnston and Mr. Guerra asked their class how many books they read over the summer. The results are recorded in the dot plots. What is the difference in the spreads between Mr. Johnston and Mr. Guerra's class? Right. So of course, keynotes to remember is that number 1, what is a mean, right? So had it have asked me for a mean, I have to remember the average. So you also in this, if it would have asked you to calculate the mean, then you would have had to add all the values, then divide by the number of values, right? So that was another key thing that I noticed a lot of people were missing yesterday. So I went ahead and added that to today's lesson. So mean, average, that's how you calculate it. Right, so for the mean for Johnston, add each value. So there's 4 zeros, so 0 times 4 is 0, so I have 0 plus there are 6 students that read 1 book, so 6 times 1 gives me 6, so I have 0 plus 6. Then there are 4 students that read 2 books, so 2 times 4 gives me 8, so I have 0 plus 6 plus 8. 1 student read 3, so I put plus 3. 2 students read 5, so plus 10. 1 student read 8, so plus 8. 1 student read 9, plus 9, and 1 student read 10, plus 10. Add all that together, I'm going to get 54. And then there are a total of 20 students, so 20 answers, or 20 data points. So I divide the 54 by 20, and I'm going to get 2.7. So that's the way I get the mean, or the average, for Johnston. I'm going to follow the exact same process for Mr. Guerra, and I'm going to get 0 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. Right? So when I do so, I'm going to get 40, take 40 divided by 2, and I'm going to get, take 40 divided by 20, and I'm going to get 2. So the average for Mr. Guerra is 2. Alright, so that covers mean. In today's lesson, also you're going to cover something called median, so the middle value, right? So we've had a plethora of questions that ask us about median. Y'all are doing very good, but I'm just going to cover it really quick. So remember that the median is the value that's in the middle. So I would put all my values in order. So out for Mr. Johnston, I would write 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 3 5 5 8 9 10, and after I put them in order, I would cross out 1 on the left, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, blah 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 till you get to the middle. If I have 2 values, then I divide it by 2, which in this case that was the situation. I ended up with a 1 and a 2. So when I added them together, I got 3, and then 3 divided by 2 gives me 1.5. Right? So that's where we're at. For Mr. Guerra, both values ended up being a 1, so it's just a 1. Okay. So that's my median. The next thing is my mode. So the mode is the value that comes out the most, right? So we can notice that for Mr. Johnston, it's the largest line. So we have it at 1. And for Mr. Guerra, it's also at 1. So they have the same mode. Next thing is my range. So this is what they're asking me for. For my spread, my range. In this case, the range is just my maximum minus my minimum. So I take the max value for Johnston, which is 10, minus the minimum, which is 0, and I'm going to get 10. Mr. Guerra, it's going to be the maximum, which is 7, minus the minimum, which is 0, and I'm going to get 7. Okay. So now that I know the value, it says what is the difference in spreads. So difference in spreads means subtraction, right? So keynotes. So what is the subtraction of the ranges for Johnston and Guerra? So I'm going to take 10 minus 7, and of course I'm going to get 3. So that gives me the answer, letter G. So for number 4, answer is G. Okay. I recommend you write these notes down, guys. You're going to need this for next year. Okay. Right. Moving on to number 5. So number 5 says the double box plot shows the daily low temperatures for a month for 2 cities. Use the information to determine which inference is not true. Not. So I know another misconception is a lot of people are not reading the question correctly. So this one I'm looking for the false statement. False. Okay. So keynotes again. The minimum to quartile 1 is going to be 25%. Quartile 1 to the median is another 25. Median to Q3 is 25. And then Q3 to maximum is 25. Okay, that makes up the whole 100% of my data. Remember that the IQR, which is quartile 3 minus quartile 1, is going to give me 50% of my data. So my range is also going to include my maximum minus my minimum. That's what we just covered, right, in question 4. So here we go. That's what our general box plot will look like. So of course things are moved, right? But that's the generalized one. So I've color coded everything. Minimum being at the farthest left, quartile 1, then median, then quartile 3, then maximum. On Monday, I taught y'all how to create a box plot given data points, right? So we should know how to do this. All right, so here we go. So the first one, I went ahead and color coded it. So the minimum to quartile 1, that is the minimum, or the quartile 1 to the median, then the median to quartile 3, then 3 to the maximum. Okay, so I did it for both, so you can see them color coded. Right there. Ta-da! Cool. So we can go on by one. So it says the spreads of the low temperatures for Austin and Dallas are not the same. So the spread. So spread, I'm looking for maximum minus minimum, right? Spread is range, same thing. So not the same. So for the top one, for Austin, I have 60 minus 15. And for Dallas, I have 59 minus 10. It's actually like 54-ish. I don't know where I got 59 from. It's 54. But it's 54 minus 10. And that's going to give me 45. No. It's going to give me 44. Okay. So it's 44. I don't know where I got 59 from. Anyway, it's 44. So it's 44 and 45. So the spread of the low temperatures for Austin and Dallas are not the same. That is true. Okay. So I don't want that one though. I don't want a true statement. I want a false statement. So I need to go on to the next one. It says the median low temperatures for Austin and Dallas are different. Okay. So median low temperature for both are different. So we have to find our middle value, right? So it's between our quartile 1 and our quartile 3. So between the green and blue boxes. Sorry. So between the green and blue boxes. So between the green and blue boxes, notice that they line up perfect. So it says they are different. This is false. They're not different. They're the same. So that might be my answer. Go on to H. It says neither box plot is symmetrical. Okay. So symmetrical means that they have to be the same on both sides. And they're not. So when they're symmetrical, that means that the both whiskers have to be the exact same size, such as in our main example on the bottom right hand side. That would be a symmetrical graph. Why? Because the left side is the same as the right side. So you have essentially what's called a bell-shaped curve. So in this one, it's false because pretty much Austin is symmetrical. Okay, so neither box is symmetrical. That is false because one of them is symmetrical somewhat. which is Austin. Okay, and then we go to J, which says the lower extreme for Dallas is approximately 5 degrees lower than the lower extreme for Austin. So the lower extreme for Dallas. Lower extreme for Dallas is essentially 10. And then it says the lowest extreme for Austin is 15. So that is true. So it can't be J. Okay. Questions? So I looked for false. So the medians are different. So that's it, guys. That's all you have to do for today. That's it. I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. Complete questions 1, 2, and 3. Send me proof of your completion. If you have any questions, let me know. And once I let you know you're done, guys. So just remember that math is the language of the universe. So the more equations you know, the more you can converse with the cosmos. So a little woo type of quote for the day. Just know that I'm very proud of each and every one of you, and I know you can do it, and I'm here for you if you need anything. Alright, guys, I love you all and I miss you all. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye bye.